Here's an interview from one of our past shows on Rock and Metal Revival. If you're interested in hearing full shows, go to our Facebook page and check out our list of affiliates for times and places where you can hear Rock and Metal Revival. That's brand new music from Donnie-V. It's called I Could Save the World right here on Rock and Metal Revival, and it's good to hear that voice again, man.
Yeah, very Beatlesque, but very cool.
Good to have it heard.
It's good to have it heard. We want to welcome Donnie-V to Rock and Metal Revival. And Donnie, I want to congratulate you on the release of Beautiful Things. This is a great album.
Thank you. It's not rock and metal, but yeah, I mean, I've done enough of that, and thank you very much. So they did get you that, huh?
Yeah, they did. We did get it, and I just want to, it's been a while since we last heard from you. 4 years since the last release we got from you, Donnie. What's been going on?
Well, once they fired me from Enuff Z'Nuff, and go figure that. How can you fire me? But
yeah,
I got fired, and then that was like the all-time low. I hit rock bottom a bunch of times. There's always a trap door that goes further down until you pop out of the top of something else, So I had some a warrant that I wasn't aware of, and I got kidnapped by hillbillies, cops, and held without ransom for quite a while. And it was good for me though, because I got a chance. I was praying to God to do something for me, because I couldn't take this life anymore. I was too miserable. I was too strung out and stuff, and felt like shit, or felt like crap. And so it was 4 years I got rid of my hepatitis C. I cost that state about $500,000 in health things and issues and teeth and hepatitis and whatever, therapy and everything. And I came out all for the better of it. And I hadn't written any songs for 4 years. And I was wondering if it was the drugs or the alcohol that was writing them, and then all this, when I prayed, about that, all of a sudden I Could Save the World was the first song idea that came to me in all that time, and then the next one followed was Breaking Me Down, was off the record, and then the third one, I thought, well, there's a coincidence, and then the third one let me know that I'm back in business, and the song God's blessed me again. They turned back on the knob.
Well, nice, nice. Donnie, I love this song, I Could Save the World. And when I listen to it, it kind of reminds me of the state of how music is in its current situation. Is that what you were looking for?
I'm looking at every single thing in this world. Music is my life, and I don't know anything about politics and stuff. I just get frustrated and angry because I think it doesn't make any sense. Yeah. But just like religion, but I know about this, and if Donnie-V could save the world, we're in big trouble. But I just think it has a good message. I mentioned all the cool stuff that we had when we were younger, and that they're missing out on nowadays. And I just say, we should bring some of that shit back, and I mentioned a lot of cool bands in it, and that's Roger Manning Jr. from Jellyfish playing the strings and keyboards and stuff on there.
Nice.
Yeah, I got him cheap too, $400, and he did everything.
Wow, nice. How'd you get Paul Gilbert involved?
Paul's a good friend of mine. Our first national tour was with Mr. Big, and he's always been a big fan, and I've been a fan of his playing. Yeah. His playing is there's a point where I wanted to kill guys that played like that after the guy I had in my band for a while, and but his playing is so unique, and his playing on this record was amazing, and we figured out how to make it apply, and Paul's starting us off down the rabbit hole with the first sound on the record, him turning up his guitar.
I thought that was him.
He was happy to do it. I asked him would he be involved, and he said, well, send me the song, and then an hour later he just said yes, he would do it, and he did.
Awesome.
In a big way. Yeah.
Well, now, Donnie, I was reading online that you were one of the victims of the music or the PledgeMusic Disaster. We had Michael Wilton on from Queensryche, and he kind of gave us his version of what a screwed up mess that was. That has to be rough on an artist like you.
Well, what it does is you get the pledge, and that's the fans that are paying you directly up front for the record so you can make the record. Well, we went over the goal, and the fans and everybody also mostly got screwed. We were 20 grand in the hole of that we put up front to pay for things and the producer and stuff like that, and so that we had to eat that, and we didn't get that money, and the fans didn't get their the pledgers are the last ones to get their CDs, you know? And it was just a big runaround. And most of those guys that did the pledge, those artists, their fans are out of luck. You know, they're not getting it. And we're made good on our pledge. We spent more money and did what we said we were going to do. And that's just the way we're going to operate now, you know, and that the fans are everything, and they give me my reason to live and purpose, and they shouldn't be paid back in excuses, you know, because of it's not their fault. But I'll go directly to them next time. I got their emails.
Yeah. Did that happen to all the artists that were doing pledges?
Yep. Everybody on PledgeMusic.
Oh, wow.
Every single person. Every artist.
See,
Paul Gilbert.
I thought it was just a few artists. Holy cow, man.
No, everybody. You know, They have smaller artists and big artists, and they all got screwed. Paul Gilbert got screwed out a lot more than I did. The Jellyfish guy. Every artist I talked to got screwed out of that.
Wow.
That was our only real option anymore, because the labels, you know, they don't. There's only a few, and they're just machines that churn out more of what's selling, and they don't even really know or anything about music, and it sounds like the same writer and producer for most of it, except you got bands like Greta Van Fleet that are starting to give hope back to rock and roll. Mm-hmm. You know. So
you got any plans to maybe tour on this?
Well,
get out there.
I don't think I'll ever tour again because it's too unhealthy for me, and you got to play a lot of dumps in between the good shows for cheap to make it financially sound. But I'll do just do good shows, because I gotta pay the hot cats to play with me. I'm not using the usual suspects. You know, I'm getting the good guys, and everybody's got to be able to sing, and it's got to sound great, and they got to be able to rehearse without me, because I don't need rehearsal. So they have to be shows that mean something, and otherwise, why do them? You know, and not going to be in a cock rock band and play to those crowds anymore. And so far, until then, I do a acoustic storytellers show with just a piano and acoustic guitar, and I go to all those great songs that nobody's ever heard, and that I've only sang once when I did the record, and they're really loving that. And that'll tide them over until I put the band together, and that should be shortly. The label's already getting the options, and management's already getting the options of good guys, and
Cool. That's cool. Donnie, we're just north of Chicago, so I've had a lot of chances to see Enuff Z'Nuff over the years. I remember seeing you here in Beloit at Riverfest, doing Enuff Z'Nuff, and I just always thought what a great lead singer you were. I always thought you were a great front man. And I always thought that you kind of got pigeonholed as being too Beatlesque. Do you ever get that feeling from critics and stuff?
It's kind of the kiss of death to mention the Beatles, because you can never compare. And people are like, how do they compare themselves to the Beatles? And no, it's an influence. It was my first influence was the Beatles, and I'm the majority writer and singer. And but I learned a lot from listening to them, and melodies and hooks and stuff, and then I grew into loving Motown, and like things like Zeppelin and Aerosmith, like the classic killer bands, and just put that all together like a ice cream sundae full of cool stuff, and that's basically the sound. It just had buzzsaw guitars on it, and I mentioned that I think people talk more about the drugs ruining us and the hair and this and that, but in the 80s band, we came out in late November of 89, so go figure we're an 80s band, we got 1 month,
No, I watched your video for Instant Karma. That was very cool. How'd that come about?
I was in the hospital late last year, and for the beginning of this year, I spent about a month and a half in the hospital starving to death because my pancreas liquefied.
Ooh,
and
ouch.
It was pretty terrible, and I had that moment where the doctor came in and said, we can't feed you through this tube because we can't get it down, this and that. And he goes, it might be a good time for you to get your affairs in order and this and that. I'm like, what?
Whoa.
Like, get out of my room right now. I'm a tank, dude. I'm ready to go have a cigarette right now. I feel fine. I'll be fine. I've lived through worse shit than this. Excuse my language. And, and that was pretty heavy, but, I needed something to go out because the record got pulled back in because it wasn't set up right, and I didn't want anybody to forget about me. So I have this demo laying around, and out of love, these couple people Vinny Castaldo from the studio in Vegas. You know, he got me a bunch of cool, cute chicks and stuff singing the chorus, and then my other buddy Rob, he put a grand piano out on the pier, in the frozen pier in the middle, you know, and I did all those scenes fresh out of the hospital. The one scene where I'm singing on the microphone, that was 2 days after I got out of the hospital, and everybody said, you should wait, you're too thin, and I couldn't wait. I was itching, you know, to do something, and they were right. I'm too thin. I was like crap, but you know, out and put the headband on out there freezing, you know, you swell up a little bit, so I looked a little bit better. That was a week later, but that's what happened, and it was created out of people by love, you know, to replace the instruments, and so then I was figuring what we can do with this, and I said, well, we'll do it. It's John Lennon's song, so we got to do something for peace and love and for the people. I started looking into different charities and stuff, and the biggest one that I could find that doesn't get enough exposure is bullying, anti-bullying, and because 1/3 of all youthful deaths today is due to suicide, and 1/3 of those is from bullying. So that's you know, however you do the math on that. I didn't do well in school, but then they re-roll the credits. You put some, you know, a bunch of the names just so people could see the ages of these kids that killed themselves, like 11, 12, you know, 15. Yeah. My uncle just killed himself this week.
Oh, geez.
He's the guy that put my first guitar in my hand.
Wow. Sorry.
Wow. Yeah, he lost his mind, you know.
Yeah. Wow. You know, I got to tell you this one, Donnie. From the other night, I had, I think I had 6 people in my car, 6 in my truck, and
were they alive?
No, I'm not Mexican.
Oh, okay.
Just Irish.
You were transporting bodies?
Yeah. Yours could be next. Anyways, Fly High Michelle came on the radio. Everybody in the vehicle sang along.
Well, that's really cool. Then I don't have to sing it anymore.
That's what I was going to ask you. Do you still want to sing that song, or is there songs?
Not really, but you got to, and we got to the point with Enuff Z'Nuff where we do the $100 fan, and you got $100 cash on you right now. It can't be a $100 bill because you know I'll just keep that whole thing. I won't give them any money, but you can come on up and sing a new thing or Fly High or whatever you want to sing, and they usually pick one of those, and I wouldn't have to sing it, and you know they were god awful. It's like, oh Joe, you know you sing that in our band, get up there, yay Joe, and he's just, my hair is standing straight up, you know, but we're laughing, but you know it gets old. Yeah, those were my baby songs. That was, you know, I just started writing then, and I've continued to evolve and improve, and that's a policy I have is the next stuff has to be as good or better, you know, and then the last stuff where I won't put it out. And I think I've done that right up until this record.
Mm-hmm. Now, you got a huge catalog of songs. So thinking back, are there any tracks you think could have used some cowbell?
Yeah, absolutely. I think all of them. More cowbell.
I'm telling you, man.
Exactly, more cowbell.
It makes everything better.
You know, cowbell player is a pretty useless guy if he's not in a band. You know, he doesn't have much to do there either. But that's one of those instruments that, you know, you just apply it, you know, when it's absolutely necessary, and you don't use a roller with production and instruments. What you do is use a brush, and it's supposed to be accented and enhanced. You know, not a couple of big buzzsaw guitars instead of production and everything. And so you know that got a little bit old to me. And yeah, so cowbell for sure, as long as you're going to play it.
All right. Well, hey,
that'll get me more airtime.
There you go.
Exactly.
Hey, he's in the band. You say, I'm in the band. You can email me your cowbell parts.
Nice.
Yeah, Jerry's a professional.
Yeah.
There you go. Oh my God, you're amazing on that.
Yeah, my rhythm is horrible, and it just goes with everything. Yeah. You know?
Well, you can play the meat whistle when you're not playing that.
Yeah.
There you go.
Exactly.
I think I'll stay away from that
one. Well, hey, Donnie, where can people keep in touch, find out what's going on with you, you know, where to get your music? Where's the best place to learn about what's going on with Donnie V?
I would, I don't know, probably my bedroom.
Just give out your phone number.
Yeah, I got Donnie-Vie.com. We got GrizzlyGrayola.com, which is a production company. And you know, there's always Amazon and all that